Hello everyone, welcome to the course Geotechnical Engineering 2. So in this module number 3, we will be discussing on the Rankin's earth pressure theory. In the previous class, we have discussed about what are the different conditions of lateral earth pressure, that is at rest condition. The other one is the active pressure condition. The other one is the passive pressure condition. And then we have discussed about at rest condition, we have understood the lateral pressure. Okay. So now in today's lecture we will obtain the active earth pressure as well as the passive earth pressure considering the Rankins earth pressure concept. So now we will be discussing the Rankins earth pressure theory. Okay. So in this, the equilibrium of a certain soil element is considered within a particular plane. That means if you imagine this is a ground surface. Okay. So a small soil element is considered at a particular depth z, say. Okay, this depth may be varying, and along this particular soil element considered, which is in one particular plane only, so the horizontal as well as the vertical stresses are considered. So let us denote this as sigma v and the horizontal stress as sigma h. Okay, so this is our ground level. So at this particular condition, we will be considering in this theory the equilibrium of my soil element, equilibrium of the soil element. So there are certain assumptions considered by Rankine for this particular theory. So let us now look at the assumptions as well. Assumptions. So the first assumption is the soil is homogeneous and semi-infinite. The soil is homogeneous and semi-infinite. Okay. Now the other one is the soil is dry and cohesionless. The soil is dry and cohesionless soil. Okay. Now the other one is the ground surface is considered plane. The ground surface is considered plane. Okay, that means it is not undulated. Whatever ground surface that we are considering, it is not undulated and it is plane. So that is what is the other assumption. So apart from that, the other type of assumption is the retaining wall or the surface of the retaining wall is smooth. Okay, the retaining wall surface is assumed to be smooth. Okay, apart from that, there is one more assumption. The last one is there is a state of plastic equilibrium attained. Okay, that means there is a state of plastic equilibrium attained due to these external stresses. So that is why the soil is at the verge of failure. That means this is nothing but the plastic equilibrium condition. Plastic equilibrium condition. That means it has attained the plastic equilibrium condition. So these are the assumptions considered by Rankine for this particular theory where we need to obtain the earth pressure. That means the soil is homogeneous and semi-infinite, the soil is cohesionless as well as dry, and then the ground surface whatever that we are considering is plane. That means there are no undulations, and the retaining wall surface is smooth. So whatever surface of contact of the retaining wall with the soil is actually smooth. And lastly, the soil is at the verge of failure. That means the plastic equilibrium condition is stated. Okay. So now based on the considerations, okay, let us try to obtain the passive earth pressure, okay, and then the active earth pressure. So before that, let me consider a ground surface. This is a ground level, so below which there is a soil element that is considered, and above it sigma v is acting vertically, okay, and the horizontal stress is represented by sigma h in the initial state, okay. So this is at a depth of z, okay. So that is our primary conditions. So for this, if I have to draw a Mohr circle, okay, representing the Mohr circle on a plot, so let the vertical stress, considering the vertical stress as well as the horizontal stress, so if we draw a circle in this manner, okay, so initially this is my sigma v, and let this particular point be capital B, and let the center be C, and let the intersection of this point where the stress is sigma h and this point be E, okay. So now let us say for this particular point, this element considered, we have got the Mohr circle in this manner. So if you keep the vertical stress constant, that means let us say the vertical stress is constant, that means this is at rest condition, okay. So let us keep the vertical stress constant now, and now let us decrease this lateral stress. That means if you imagine this is there is a retaining wall here in the soil, and now the retaining wall is moving in this manner, okay. That means the soil is actually getting loosened. That means the horizontal or lateral stress that is acting, that is sigma h, is now decreasing, okay. So that means active earth pressure state, since the retaining wall is now moving away, so that means it is in the active earth pressure state. So that is why sigma h is now decreasing. So let us keep the vertical stress sigma v as constant, and let us decrease the sigma h now. So let us say after certain amount of time, let us this denote by a, and let after certain time let the circle be in this manner, okay, because sigma h has now decreased. So let us denote this as a dash, okay. So imagine there is some another circle on further decreasing, or somewhere in between these two. Let us denote by this as a dash and this by a double dash, okay. That means sigma h is initially at a, and now it has decreased to a dash, and then it has decreased to a double dash, but our sigma v, that is the vertical stress, is constant. So if I say at this particular state when sigma h has become something at a double dash, so let the pressure be Pa, and let us assume that it is exactly at the verge of failure. That means if I have to draw a straight line, that means the failure envelope, let us say that this has just intersected this particular failure envelope, so that means it is at the verge of failure, that means just attained the plastic equilibrium condition. So let this angle be phi dash, as we know it will be phi dash since it is a cohesionless soil. So it will start with the origin O, okay, this is a double dash, and for our particular case, since it is at the verge of condition, let us consider this particular diagram alone, okay. So that means if I have to represent only at the verge of failure condition, so this is point O, okay, and there is a failure envelope in this manner. Let us denote this by Fe, and let the circle what we have drawn, let me represent only in half of the circle here, okay. So this point is B, and the value of this is sigma v. Okay, and let us say this is some PA. Okay, and let C be the center, and since this is exactly at the perpendicular to this failure envelope, so let us this point be C and this point be D. Let us denote this point as E. Okay, so this is 90 degrees and this angle is phi dash. This angle is phi dash. Okay, so if you consider this particular diagram, if I draw join these 2 points, this is 45 degree plus 5 by 2. Okay, this is 45 degree plus 5 by 2. So for this particular case, now we need to consider our active earth pressure. Okay, that means we need to determine this PA. Okay, so let us try to solve this now. So from this particular case, in general, since the soil element is at a particular distance, so what is sigma v now? Sigma is nothing but the vertical stress. Since it is at a particular depth, let us say the unit weight is gamma for that particular soil, so it is gamma head into Z. Okay, and we know sigma h. Okay, so at rest condition, this is k naught into sigma v. Okay, this is at rest condition. Now, so if you look at this particular Mohr circle, since it has now changed, previously it is somewhere in this manner, let this be the diameter, now it has increased to this value. So now if we look at this particular Mohr circle, so what is our sigma v from the origin? So it is nothing but sigma v can be represented as OB. Sigma v may be represented as OB, and similarly from this particular diagram, let us try to denote this as OC plus CB. Okay, so let us try to denote this as OC plus CB. Okay, and similarly if we want to write down PA, so what is PA from this diagram? This is OE. Okay, so passive pressure is nothing but OE. Okay, so OE, let me try to write down in this manner, OC minus EC. OC minus EC. Okay, so if you look at this particular diagram here, EC CB is nothing but radius of the Mohr circle, so that is equal to this CD. Okay, so we know from this particular diagram, this EC is equals to CB, which is equals to CD, since it is radius of circle. Okay, so if we substitute these in the above equation, say this is equation 1 and this is equation 2, simply I can state that sigma v, therefore my sigma v will be OC plus CB, or simply I will write down CD, OC plus CD. So now if you consider this particular diagram here, let us say O is one point, D is one point and C is another point. So this is a right angle triangle here, okay, which is having 90 degrees at D. So what is sin phi dash? Sin phi dash is nothing but opposite side by adjacent, so that will be CD by OC. So this will be CD by OC. So from this I can simply write down CD is equals to OC sin phi dash. Okay, so this is one important expression. So using this I can find out my sigma v. So let us say sigma v is equals to OC plus CD, substituting CD as OC into sin phi. So this will be OC into 1 plus sin phi dash. Okay. Similarly, if you look at PA, so what is PA now? It is OC minus EC. Simply EC is CD, so substituting here it is OC minus CD. So I can simply write down this as 1 minus sin phi dash. Okay. So I have got now PA as well as sigma v. So let us divide PA by sigma v. So let us write PA by sigma v. So it can be simplified as OC into 1 minus sin phi dash by OC into 1 plus sin phi dash. Okay. So on further simplification, this will be, if I write in terms of PA will be 1 minus sin phi dash by 1 plus sin phi dash multiplied by sigma v. Okay. So this is my final expression for passive earth pressure. Okay, that is 1 minus sin phi by 1 plus sin phi dash into sigma v. So here sigma v is nothing but gamma into depth z. Okay, so if you look at this particular term now, only this particular term, so since it is active earth pressure, so since this is some constant, so I can write down this as Ka. Okay, where Ka is lateral active earth pressure constant. Okay, so therefore I can write down Ka into gamma into H as my passive earth pressure. Okay, where Ka is 1 minus sin phi dash by 1 plus sin phi dash, or simply I can write down 1 minus sin phi dash by 1 plus sin phi dash is equals to tan square 45 degree minus phi by 2. Okay, 45 degrees minus phi by 2. Okay, so this is my Ka. So this is the lateral earth pressure, active earth pressure constant. So if you look at the pressure distribution diagram, so let us say this is my retaining wall in this manner. Okay, and I have considered this particular element at this region. Okay, which is at a depth of z, which may be varying. Okay, let h be the height of this retaining wall. So if I have to draw the pressure distribution diagram, so let us denote this pressure distribution diagram in this manner. Since I know that PA is equals to 1 minus sin phi dash by 1 plus sin phi dash into gamma into z. Okay, so when z is 0 in this particular case, so this entire term will be 0. So that means at this particular level depth is 0, so at this point the value will be 0 here. So if you look at a depth of z, when at the bottom of this retaining wall, when the depth z is equal to h, so this value will be 1 minus sin phi dash by 1 plus sin phi dash into gamma z. So let us denote this as Ka gamma z. So at this particular depth h, so this value will be something that is Ka gamma h. Okay, so this is a linearly varying plot. So this is the pressure distribution diagram, which will increase along the depth. Okay, so now if I have to represent the lateral force, that means if I have to represent the lateral force in this particular case, so where can we locate this lateral force means, if you consider the area of this particular pressure distribution diagram, So it will be half into base is Ka gamma h into height is h. Okay, so the lateral force is now given by half into K into gamma into h square. On further simplification, this is half Ka gamma h square. Okay, so this, since it is a triangle, so it will act laterally Ka gamma h square, which will act along the centroid of this particular distribution diagram. So for this particular triangle, the centroid will be at a distance of h by 3 from the base. Okay, so that means this lateral force Ka into half gamma h square will act at a distance of h by 3 from the base. Okay, so that is regarding the active earth pressure. So now in a similar fashion, let us now try to look at the passive earth pressure. So now, just like the previous case, let us try to consider the Mohr circle in this particular manner. Let us say this is sigma v and let us say this is sigma h initially for the same diagram. So now in this particular case, if you consider the soil element, so if the soil is moving or the retaining wall is moving towards the particular soil, so what will happen? Additional stress is acting on the soil mass. Okay, so in such aspect, that means there is an increase in the lateral force. If this is a soil mass and if the retaining wall is moving in this manner, so obviously some additional stress is acting, so that means there is an increase in lateral force. So in this particular case, this sigma h is now increasing. Okay, so if I draw the increasing graph, let us say initially I have got the diagram in this manner. Okay, and after some amount of time, upon further increasing, let us denote this by B and let this particular thing be A. Okay, and after certain amount of increase in lateral stress, it has gone to A dash, and now upon further increasing, I have obtained this as A double dash. Okay, okay. So at this particular stage, now let us say this is at the verge of failure. That means this is the failure envelope. This is the failure envelope, and this has now reached to the verge of failure, that is the plastic equilibrium condition. Okay, unlike the previous case, now we are increasing, so that is why it is moving somewhere on the other side. So if you consider the Mohr circle at the plastic equilibrium condition, and let us denote this as the PP, as the passive pressure at that particular stage, since the retaining wall is now moving towards the soil. Okay, so if you consider only that particular diagram now, so if you consider that particular diagram alone now, considering the failure plane, okay, let the point of intersection be somewhere at this region. So in this particular case, now this is our sigma v. Okay, so let us denote this by point A. Okay, and now this is my PP. Let C be the center. So similarly, if I draw the center, so let us say this is the center, and let us denote this by E. Okay, let O be the origin, and let us denote this by B instead of A. Let us denote this by B. Okay, let D be the point of intersection of this failure envelope as well as the Mohr circle. Okay, so this is my failure envelope. Failure envelope. So now, so this will be 90 degrees, and this, if you join this particular line, this will be 45 degree plus 5 dash by 2. since this is phi dash. Okay, since this angle is phi dash, this will be 45 degrees plus phi by 2 as usually. So similarly, now let us try to obtain this passive earth pressure as well as sigma V. So from the diagram, if you look at PP, PP is nothing but OE. Okay, so this can be simplified and written as OC plus CE. OC plus CE, and sigma V, if you consider, this is OB. This is OB. So OB can be written as OC minus this BC. Okay, I hope this is clear. This is OC minus this particular BC, so that is why we will get OB. Okay, so that is how I have written this. So now using this particular triangle concept once again, so as we know that BC and CD and CE are same, that means BC is equals to CD is equals to CE, since it is radius. Okay, that means circle radius, so therefore this is same. Okay, so from the particular diagram, let us try to obtain CD now. So as usually how we have derived in the previous case, CD, okay, by OC is equals to sin phi dash. So therefore my CD value will be OC sin phi dash. Okay, just like the previous case how we have obtained. So since CE is now same as CD as well as BC is same as CD, so let us substitute OC sin phi in this particular expression, and we may obtain that PP will be equal to, this will be OC plus OC sin phi, so OC into 1 plus sin phi dash, and sigma V will be OC minus BC. BC is nothing but CD, so OC minus CD. CD is again OC sin phi, so simplifying I get OC minus OC sin phi dash, so common, OC is common, so 1 minus sin phi dash. Okay, so now in the similar fashion, let us try to divide this equations. Okay, let us denote this as equation 1 and equation 2. So dividing equation 1 by 2, so we will obtain PP by sigma V is equals to 1 plus sin phi dash by 1 minus sin phi dash. Okay, so that is how we have obtained this particular expression. So this is nothing but some constant term, just like our previous case. So let us denote this by Kp. So passive earth pressure is Kp into this small entity sigma V now. Okay, so as I have stated, this can be further simplified and written as passive earth pressure is Kp into sigma V, since sigma V is nothing but gamma into Z. So I can write down gamma into Z. Clear? So that is how we have obtained the passive earth pressure. So for this particular case, if you look at the stress diagram, so the stress diagram will also be similar. So the only difference is at depth Z equal to 0, PP will be 0, and at depth Z equal to H, PP will be Kp gamma H. Okay, so that means the stress distribution diagram here also it is a triangle. The stress distribution here also it is a triangle. So that is why if we have to consider the lateral force, so the lateral force will be half Kp gamma H square. Okay, which is acting at a distance of h by 3 from the base. Okay, h by 3 from the base. So this is my pressure. Okay, so this is my lateral force. So here one thing we need to understand, in both the cases we have obtained Ka as 1 minus sin phi dash by 1 plus sin phi dash, and Kp as 1 plus sin phi dash by 1 minus sin phi dash. Okay, from both the cases what we have derived now, we have obtained Ka as 1 minus sin phi dash by 1 plus sin phi dash, and Kp as 1 plus sin phi dash by 1 minus sin phi dash. So if you look at these two, I can simply state that Ka is equals to 1 by Kp. Ka is equals to 1 by Kp. That means your coefficient of active earth pressure and passive earth pressure are inversely proportional. Okay, so in our instance, let phi dash is equals to 30 degrees. So in such case, this Ka value will be 1 minus sin 30 by 1 plus sin 30. So on further simplification it will be 1 by 3. Since we know K is inversely proportional, so I can write down Kp is equals to 1 by Ka, and I can obtain this as 1 by 3. So this is 3. So if you simply substitute here also 30 degrees, you will get Kp value as 3. Okay, so that is the relation between Ka and Kp. Okay, so in the upcoming lecture, now we will try to understand more in detail about the other aspects when the surface is inclined, okay, as well as for corrosive soils. Okay, so that's it for today. So I hope everyone have understood this particular lecture. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.